local government election candidates. Tonight, the NTA political leader Gary Griffith, along with Team UNC, Anil Roberts, Saddam Hussein and Wade Mark, plus a prime-time address by political leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Welcome to a special UNC NTA joint platform.
Brothers and sisters, let me, in the absence, recognize the political leader of the NTA, Captain Gary Griffith. The Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, political leader of the UNC. Tonight, we have a powerful joint platform involving the most powerful parties in Trinidad and Tobago, the NTA and the UNC. We have all recognized, comrades, brothers and sisters, for Trinidad and Tobago to grow. PNM must go. For TNT to grow, to expand, the PNM must go. And therefore, all of us have a date with destiny. August the 14th. Let us, brothers and sisters, make that first step. Strike that first blow, so that we can take all 14 corporations throughout Trinidad and Tobago. When we take those 14 corporations in Trinidad, we are laying the basis to get rid of this Prime Minister who has oppressed, who has exploited, who has brutalized, who has slaughtered our people. And on August the 14th, let us send a collective message to this political terrorist called Rowley and get rid of the PNM in the 14 corporations. My brothers and sisters, I have a task, simple one, and that is to introduce our 6 winning UNC candidates who will become councillors in the next Port of Spain Corporation. As I call them, they will come on the stage, they will stand their ground, and then they will move on. And then we will introduce our colleague from the NTA, who will then produce their 6th candidate, Commander Norman Dindial. So the first candidate I would like to invite to the platform is Liana Bob Gonzalez Belmont East.
Vote for UNC. Vote for UNC.
Our second candidate is our young sister, Chantal Subero. She's going to take that seat. Belmont North and West, welcome Chantal. Our next candidate is our hard-working brother Eric Blackman. He will take Belmont South. Welcome, Eric.
Vote for
Brothers and sisters, our next candidate, she's going to bring home the East Dry River Electoral District. Her name is Catherine Perry. Welcome, Catherine.
Vote for UNC. Vote for UNC.
Our next candidate is young, dynamic Darren Garner. He will bring home Northern Port of Spain Electoral District.
Vote for UNC. Vote for UNC.
And our final candidate in our six is our sister Kanisha Makano, St. Anne's River North.
Vote for UNC. Vote for UNC.
My brothers and sisters, at this time, I would like to invite my colleague and friend, Commander Norman Dindial. He will introduce our six winning, that is the NTA, six winning candidates, councillors in Port of Spain. Brother Commander Dindial.
Yeah, baby, you know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
Thank you, Senator Mark. Greetings and salutations to all. Good evening. It is definitely a good evening. A good evening for transformation. And you haven't heard this before said in this way, but you have heard it. Great was the PNM, and they will definitely fail. They will definitely fail against these united candidates that we are presenting to here tonight from the National Transformation Alliance and the United National Congress. I would like to acknowledge in the audience the spouse of our political leader, Captain Gary Griffith, Mrs. Nicole Dyer Griffith. Thank you, ma'am. And without further ado, I'm going to present to you the National Transformation Alliance candidates for the city of Port of Spain. St. James West, Maura Renee Martin. Hashtag Moving with Maura.
You know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
St. Anne's River Central. Kenny Lee. Hashtag Keys to the City with Kenny.
Yeah, baby, you know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA. Let me go.
The National Transformation Alliance next candidate for St. Anne's River South, Gail Castaneda. Hashtag Gail gets it done.
Let me go. We voting NTA.
Your National Transformation Alliance candidate for St. James East, Richard Thomas. Hashtag Revival with Richard. Your councillor, who's bringing home Woodbrook, Raisha Bethel Frederick.
Yeah, baby.
Hashtag Rolling with Raisha.
Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA. Let me go.
And the National Transformation Alliance candidate for Southern Port of Spain, who's going to take it home in that area, Angela Velasco. Hashtag Angela for action.
Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
Thank you.
Let me go. We vote in NTA. NTA, you see the Griffin got the blood. So let us say for one.
Put your hands together for our 12 candidates. My brothers and sisters, at this time, I would like to introduce our first speaker. He's our coordinator in the Diego Martin region. I present to you Senator Damian Lyder. Bring him on with a lusty round of applause.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. So let me tell them, August 14th, vote for UNC.
UNC and NTA family, let me hear you! How good and how pleasant it is for us, for the UNC and the NTA to be gathered together in one unity. Let me hear you! Oh my God! We're rocking Port of Spain tonight! We are rocking in the belly of the PNM beast in Port of Spain tonight! UNC and NTA family! Honorable political leader, my time is short tonight, so I'm getting straight to the fight. Brothers and sisters, many of us refer to the PNM by different names. We call them wicked, we call them callous, we call them evil, careless and reckless. Brothers and sisters, I want to sum it up by simply saying that the PNM is the worst government in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. This is a government that believes you and I are fools in this country. This is a government that believes their own supporters are fools in this country. They come to you to mamagai you by running and paving some roads now before this election. They come to you to talk to you about local government reform. They come to tell you they're restructuring ministries and they're fixing things in this country 8 years later with a broken nation, and they're coming to mamagai you before this election. We tell them no, we will not be mamagaied. You see, brothers and sisters, when the total infrastructure in this country is falling apart, we see Rohan sitting and dancing around with a PR stunt around this country today. When you fall along in a pothole in La Puerta, in Bonds Road, right outside the highway, and you fall along in a pot road, you're hearing Faris Awari talking about local government reform. When you see the floods hit you, and many of you here today know what happens when a small drizzle falls in Diego Martin or in Port of Spain. When you see the floods in Victoria Gardens, when you see the roads in Factory Road impassable, when my brother sitting down in the front end, Cocorite can't get up to the top of the hill because of a landslide, you have Rohan sitting and walking around the country singing Lotela, Lotela, and you ought to take that. No, we say no tonight to the PNM. My brothers and sisters, when you see Kamla Prasad Bisesa and her MPs and her senators go out to help flood victims in the street, they say we played flood politics. When they see Gary Griffith and Russell Chan with backhoe clearing river, they say they're playing flood politics. Well, let me tell you something here tonight. In case they didn't know, being a politician means you have to serve the people. So we're going to play that kind of politics and we will help the people. And if helping flood victims is so wrong, then I just don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. Brothers and sisters, they're a government
of optics and ineptitude. Why do you feel they're running away from bringing international observers here today? Because they know very well they cannot win an election fair and square. They know that. This is a government that is not serious about building a nation. They are not serious about helping the vulnerable in this country. This is a government that wants to continue with their fascist dictatorial practices, invading every independent institution in this country while they take away and strip the rights and freedoms of every citizen in this country. Brothers and sisters, we saw that when we saw that the Privy Council, under the action of Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC, had to take them to the Privy Council and make them come with this local government election today. And then today, brothers and sisters, we see them going further when they break a law in a CARICOM fete they hosted 2 weeks ago, when they now have to run in the parliament with their tail between their legs, having broken laws to try to fix what they did by bringing validation. Well, I want to recognize the members of parliament from the UNC that took the battle to them in the parliament today. Let us hear your voices for the members of parliament. Brothers and sisters, as I come to a close with my last minute, I want to say this. I want to say this with my last minute. Even though this lazy government can't pave your roads, even though the infrastructure falling apart, the number one issue in Diego Martin and Port of Spain today is crime. So even if they've cut the grass in the sporting field that they refuse to cut, you still have to worry about your son getting shot and killed in that field, like the young man up in Sandy Grande. Even if they pave the roads and patch the potholes, you still have to worry about getting robbed by the traffic light. And even if they fix the infrastructure, and even if they stop the flooding in your country, in your towns, you still have to worry about a gangster jumping over your wall and coming for your wife and children. So I say to you, brothers and sisters, all hope is not lost. All hope is not lost. Because come August the 14th, 2023, we are all going to have an opportunity to go to the polls and to vote out this wicked, this callous, and this draconian PNM out of local government. Brothers and sisters, you have the opportunity to make that difference. The United National Congress calls on you, the NTA calls on you to stand your ground against crime, stand your ground against poor infrastructure, and stand your ground against a wicked, draconian PNM government. Brothers and sisters,
Vote for UNC.
and brothers and sisters, in Diego Martin Corporation, there are 2 UNC candidates. I want to recognize the winning candidate for Bagatelle Blue Basin. She is a loving mother. She is a loving woman. She is a teacher. She will stand her ground for our children's security. I call on Nalini Goindo for Bagatelle Blue Basin. And brothers and sisters, we also have our UNC candidate for Glencoe, Goodwood La Puerta. Well, let me tell you something. She's so bad. She's so hard and strong. She down there in Diego Martin fighting Rowley now as we talk. Let us put it up for the lady who is going to make Rowley lose sleep at night, every night till the 14th. Let us hear it for Marsha Walker. And brothers and sisters, we have 8 candidates of the NTA in Diego Martin. So I want to call up my colleague, my brother in arms, who we are working in one unity, Brother Paul Nahus, who will talk and speak and present the 8 NTA candidates. I thank you, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, baby, you know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
Good evening, my NTA and UNC family. I cannot tell you the hope and pride I am filled with to present here in front of the sea of yellow and sea of blue before me. And the honor it is to fight alongside with my UNC brother in arms, with our NTA candidates, the 8 candidates and the 2 UNC candidates that will bring the newly established borough of Diego Martin home. Our first candidate for the area of Bellevue Bosse, Salim Unison George, hashtag safe with Salim.
Yeah, baby, you know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
Our candidate for the area of Chaguaramas, Point Cumana, Nakisha Smith, dedicated to Nisha.
You know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
The man on the ground every day to bring home Moko Bosse number 2, hashtag Javas, the game changer, Javas Nathaniel.
You know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
Our candidate, winning candidate, St. Lucian, Cameron Hill, hashtag Omar the Ball, Omar Jeffrey.
You know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
Fighting in Rich Plain, Covine, in the heart of the PNM, Mr. Kendall Fletcher, keeping up with Kendall.
You know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
For the area of Diamond Vale, we have Mr. Rocky Mars, come rumble with Rocky.
You know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
Our next candidates, very well-known figures throughout Diego Martin. Let me announce for you, Karen Ballpest Cummings for the area of Ancoco Modern Split. Karen, keeping up.
Here we go. Somebody say
Karen, keeping it real. And last but certainly not least, we have Big Russell Chan. Come change with Chan.
You know it's all about NTA. Here we go.
Petty Valley Cocoa Reef. Ladies and gentlemen, along with our 2 UNC candidates, you are looking at the next borough of Diego Martin representatives in all seats.
You know it's all about NTA. Here we go.
Thank you.
Let me go. Reporting NTA. Go blue. NTA is the way to go. August 14th, vote for UNC. August 14th, vote for UNC. August 14th, August 14th, August 14th, UNC.
Put your hands together for this powerful Diego Martin Borough Corporation team. My brothers and sisters, before I bring on the next speaker, I invite you to join me in recognizing the political leader of the Movement for National Development, Brother Gavin Nicholas and his wife. Our next speaker is a young attorney at law. He's a member of Parliament for Barataria San Juan. Let us put our hands together and welcome the Honorable Saddam Hussein.
It's time for we to build a better TNT. It's time for we to vote for the UNC. August 14th, vote
UNC family! UNC family! NTA family! UNC and NTA family, let me hear you! August 14th, what I'm seeing before my eyes is an NTA and UNC Borough Corporation in Diego Martin. I am seeing a yellow and a blue Port of Spain City Corporation. And we are going to paint Sawa Lavatel yellow and blue. So while Kamla Prasad Bisasa painting yellow, Gary Griffith will be painting blue, and we will remove the PNM. We will remove the PNM from all three corporations and all over Trinidad. My brothers and sisters, the PNM has inflicted suffering. They have inflicted pain. They have neglected the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and I ask you on August 14th to send them a strong message that enough is enough and Rowley must go. Rowley must. Rowley must. Thank you very much. I just left the parliament. Today, they have summoned an extraordinary sitting of the parliament. You know to do what? Imbert last week went and break the law when it comes to the Procurement Act. Imbert, together with the cabinet, on the advice of the Attorney General, they have broken the law. And when I say they have broken the law, they had to come to the parliament and pass a specific piece of law to exempt what we call expenditure for the CARICOM meeting that they had. That meeting has cost the taxpayers over $9.2 million. And they have a ceiling of $20 million to spend. And they break the law, and they want to come to the parliament today for us to legalize an illegality. That is what they have done. But what we are telling them is, no, you cannot do that. What we are saying is that the police must call Imbert and the cabinet and ask them about that matter, because that involves the expenditure of your money, the taxpayers' money. Because in this election, my brothers and sisters, they are asking you to pay something called property tax. That property tax is not going to fix road or drain or build bridge or box drain. That is going to fuel the PNM the campaign for the local government election and going further. We must tell them enough is enough and you cannot touch our money like that. They have engaged in illegality, and when we catch them with their hand in the cookie jar, Imbert say, you know what, it's not me, you know. It's Amo tell me to sign that. That what the man say. Now when Amo stand up to talk today, he say he follow the law. All I can believe Amo. This is the same man that won in the United States and lie on affidavit to Miami court. Can you believe Amo? And when the opposition leader today, she pulverized them in the parliament, Rowley and Imbert run out the chamber while the opposition leader was speaking because they could not handle the truth. And that bill that we're dealing with, it have about 6 clauses in it. You know they're talking about that since 1:30 today, and they can't done. They are trying to frustrate us. They are trying to stop people from coming to this meeting. But when I see you here in your numbers, we are strong, we are united, and we are ready to get rid of the PNM from the corridors of power. I know other speakers will come tonight and tell you exactly what is taking place with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and political persecution in this country. And we must stop them, because that is a sign of a dictator. When a man can confess, when he can confess that he goes to the president's house and withdraw a list from the Police Service Commission in an illegal manner, we must say enough is enough. On August 14, my brothers and sisters, this is your chance to restore and secure our democracy. It must be you standing your ground against the PNM. Are you going to stand your ground with us on August 14th? Those of us in the parliament, in the house, in the senate, we are trying our best to fight for you to stop the PNM from all that they are doing. But you must help us. You must join us. Those of us who are here, those of us who are listening to us on the airwaves, please join us on August 14th. Let us get rid of the PNM. Let us get rid of Keith, Christopher, Rowley. We must get rid of them. So as I say, my brothers and sisters, what I am seeing before me, I am seeing hope. I am seeing victory. Come August 14th, I think
let me do thing. I know that we will be victorious. Together with the NTA, together with the UNC, we will take the powers away from the PNM. We will take the Diego Martin Corporation. We will take the Port of Spain Corporation. We will take Sawa Laventille. Don't let the PNM feel that they own them corporation. They don't have the deed for it. It is the people who have the power, and you are going to have the power in your hands on August 14th. We went to the Privy Council for you to have this election. We had to fight them in the courthouse to have this election. So now is your chance. Now is your time. Stand your ground, Trinidad and Tobago. Stand up against this wicked dictator, Rowley. Stand up against the PNM and vote for the UNC, vote for the NTA. I thank you very much.
It's time for win.
But before I leave this platform tonight, I want to announce the winning UNC candidates in the Sawa Laventille Regional Corporation. I want you all to give it up for the next councillor for Arang West Warner Village, the singer man himself, Amit Suknalan. And let me tell you something. Barataria, we fed up with the small talk. That is why Imran Khan will be the next councillor for Barataria. And returning for another tenure, I want to welcome my sister, the next councillor for El Sikoro, Arang West North, Raquel Gadi.
Comrades, brothers and sisters, we now have our brother Anil Roberts to address you and to introduce the next batch of candidates, winning candidates in the Sawa Laventille Regional Corporation. Anil!
It's time for win. To build a better TNT. It's time for win. To vote for the UNC. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14, vote for UNC.
As I stand on the hallowed grounds where Dennis Hall, aka Sprangalang, will bring on Kaisonian, I say, repeat after me, UNC, NTA, UNC, NTA, Unity, Unity. In 2010 in the parliament, I looked across at the Dwayne Colmimbat and I said, boy, if we had sent 3 more Maxi up in Diego Martin Northeast, Gavin Nicholas would have beat you and rid the country of you wicked evil man. And the Dwayne looked across at me with his shy, sheepish grin and he said, well, next time I will campaign. My people of Diego Martin, the borough, my people of the city of Port of Spain, we must end that overconfidence and that arrogance of the PNM where they feel they can do what they want and they will get your vote. Keith Christopher Rowley and the PNM have spent over $500 billion, and yet he's on the platform and he's talking about Aswa Jack House, he's talking about Gary Griffith and FUL, he's talking about Eric Williams, what he do in 1968. $500 billion and he can't say what he do for you, so fire burn Rowley, fire burn the PNM. Imagine when Kamala Prasad Bisesa says, with the scourge of crime under the PNM, the hapless minister Sleepy Sativa Bodybag Hines, that she will implement stand your ground policies, protect your family, protect your castle. The PNM says that Gary Griffith, because he approved licenses for law-abiding citizens who were waiting for decades, applying for firearms to protect themselves, that Gary Griffith bad because he want to keep you safe. I say to Keith Rowley, the people waiting for you, they're not waiting for you with guns and knives. They're waiting for you with a finger, and you will get the finger in the borough, you will get the finger in the city, you will get it across Trinidad and Tobago. They tell you in a borough in Diego Martin. Well, I living in the borough, and I just bust my tire in the borough. Mosquito bite me in the borough. I smell garbage stinking up in the borough. They flood me down in the borough. I say, get rid of the PNM from the borough. Put UNC, put NTA, burn the PNM. And now, to bring the candidates, continuing for the Regional Corporation of San Juan Laventille, I bring to you for Beetham Picton, a man of experience, a man of the people, Rodney Stone.
Vote for UNC. Vote for UNC. MC.
For Febo Boog Malatrus, I bring to you a man who say one thing about Rowley and Rowley threatened to sue him. But I begging Rowley to sue me all day, all night, and he wouldn't send me a pre-auction. Colin Devon Thomas!
Vote for UNC.
Going to bring home the seat of Petitbourg, Mount Lampert, Champlain, who is working right now, Mr. Calendar, and in San Juan East, a man who played football and fed the coaching to the youths of Trinidad and Tobago, going to bring home San Juan East, God Mill.
Vote for UNC. Vote for UNC.
And where the youths are running the PNM out of town, when the PNM walk with the red, no one comes out to them. They scream at them and tell them, gone from here, because you have made crime the norm. You've not created jobs. Our children are suffering. The lady who will bring home for the first time, St. Barb Chinapu, Ayana Andrews.
Vote for UNC.
August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country.
NTA and UNC send some shockwaves through Rowley K-Pax in the parliament. Make some noise!
Vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Stand your ground now for you and your family.
Thank you. My brothers and sisters, I want to introduce our brother Insaf Naitola, who will represent and present to you the third batch of winning candidates for the NTA in the San Juan Laventille Regional Corporation.
Yeah, baby. You know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA,
right, NTA and UNC family? It gave me great pleasure to share a stage with my UNC family. And it will continue so until the end. Because for this election, 2023, we are taking this home. Brothers and sisters, my candidates, my 6 candidates who I'm about to present, have been for the last few weeks walking in the belly of the beast. We have been going through Laventille. We have been going to Chumaka. We have been going to Caledonia. We have been seeing things that nobody wants to see. But it's not going to stop us. We will continue and we will take this election 2023 on August 14. I see my brother in the crowd here, Saddam. And I want to tell Saddam this. I live in Barataria. We don't have a UNC in Barataria, we have a NTA. Sorry, we don't have an NTA, we have a UNC. But I will tell you, Imran, the Avengers have Hulk, you have Saddam and Insaf. We take in Barataria too. So I'm about to present my candidates, the next councillors to take the Sour Laventille seats. I want to present my first one, Chantel Alexander for Caledonia Malik, Upper Malik. Chantel shows up.
Here we go. Somebody say
The second winner, who's going to, on the 14th, on the 15th of August, who's going to be as councillor, I would like to bring Sour West, Mr. Kevin Dodds, our foot.
Here we go. Somebody say
Our third winner, who is going for Success Schumacher, I bring to the stage Aliyah Montrose, Aliyah above board.
Here we go. Somebody say
My next candidate, who is no stranger. He is no stranger to the councillor chair. I bring you for St. Anne's Cascade, Monrepo West, Mr. Kenrick Prudham. Kickstart with Kenrick.
here we go. Somebody say
My fifth candidate, who is also a winner from 14th of August, Mr. who goes from Marcus Bay, Santa Cruz, Lafayette, Mr. Jason Rupa. Justice with Jason.
Here we go. Somebody say
My sixth candidate and also the other winner for the Laventille Regional Corporation. I bring you, he is also the general. He goes up for the Mova seat, Mr. Tim Timal, Tim on time.
Here we go. Somebody say
the next councillors for the Sour Laventille Regional Corporation, NTA and UNC family.
We voting NTA. We voting NTA. Listen, vote for UNC. That's August 14. Vote for UNC. August 14. Vote for UNC. August 14. Vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14. Vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Stand your ground now for you and your family.
Thank you. Put your hands together for the winning team of Sawa Lavantel, candidate UNC NTA. My brothers and sisters, before I bring on a very important individual to introduce, a very important individual, I want to remind all of us who are here that we have a duty and a responsibility to ensure that we secure our families, our children, our communities, our country, and therefore on Monday, August the 14th, let us go out in our hundreds of thousands and vote for our candidate representing the NTA. Let us all go there in our tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and record our vote for our candidate representing the rising sun of the United National Congress. So, my brothers and sisters, Anil told you a short while ago that this government in the last 8 years almost $500 billion, close to $460 billion. And where are we today? Where are our youths today? Where are the young people's opportunities today? Do you know that we have close to 1,400 graduates of the university and they cannot find jobs in our country? And therefore, we have a duty to them. We have a duty to our children. Would you all stand up, young brother? Come down. Thank you. Let us warmly welcome the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. The driver of PEA 9611, your vehicle is in trouble. So could you visit your vehicle immediately? The driver of PEA 9611. At this time, we are going into the area where the air is rare. I want to invite Sister Lauren Pouget to introduce Captain Gary Griffith, political leader of the NTA.
Yeah, baby, you know. It's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, NTA, NTA. Let it go.
NTA people, let me hear you. UNC people, let me hear you. And now let us send a loud message to the PNM, NTA and UNC. Let me hear all of Thank you, Wade, for that great job that you've been doing. It is indeed my honor to introduce the next speaker. His achievements as a former Minister of National Security, as well as former Commissioner of Police, are too numerous to mention. And this is why you must support him as the leader of the NTA. Not as well known is his passion for sport. Cricket, football, hockey are areas where he has achieved success at the highest level. Guess you all didn't know that. He holds the belief that involvement in sport is a powerful vehicle that instills discipline and a hunger for success in our communities. And I know that Anil will appreciate that aspect of Gary. Sports and nation building require two essential components: teamwork and leadership. He himself will but what we in the NTA and anyone who interacts with him can attest to is his strong commitment to being a team player and listening to all who wish to contribute to the betterment of Trinidad and Tobago. He is someone I have known for many years, and through all interactions with him, I am convinced he is a true patriot who loves our country. NTA, let me hear you. All great teams require a great captain. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce my political leader and the leader of the National Transformation Alliance, our next presenter. Let's hear it for Mr. Gary, Captain Gary Griffith.
Yeah, baby, you know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA.
pleading for positive change, for unification, and getting the best minds together to transform our country. I want to briefly take this opportunity to explain the reason for this alliance. And I do this to all listening here tonight. I would like to clarify. This word coalition, let it be known that there are over 80 countries in the world that had coalition governments, past and present. They had over 30 in Europe, a dozen in Africa, Asia, the Americas, and many have worked, some have not worked. But then again, you have other countries that have one government. It is not working now. We are seeing here that the PNM, they will always win an election if it is the other political parties, they do not unite. The data is there. Every single time there's a coalition, every single time the parties unite, the PNM is defeated. In 1986, in 1995, 50% because she understands the importance of unifying. Every single time, as I said, that there's not a coalition, the PNM would win, except for one time, and that government lasted a few months. So it means one of three things. If anyone has an issue, it means you do not understand the politics. It means you are questioning the judgment of your political leader and myself. And more important, it means you want Keith Rowley to continue to win. You need to, is that what you want? Do we work together and ensure that Keith Rowley is defeated? Is that what we want? There are other political parties. Some of them, they spit hate, bitterness, anger, and that is not what we are here for. In fact, there's an orange party like that. Yeah, the same color. The point is, however, that we cannot win alone. It is important for us to understand we need to work with our UNC brothers. And I would like to take a message here tonight to the 36 candidates. First to the 20 NTA candidates. NTA, that bridge constituency, that third constituency. UNC candidates in the three areas of Diego Martin, Port of Spain, And she is indeed one of the hardest working Prime Minister that I've been. Now let's look at the contrast. The contrast is that yesterday morning at 10:17 a.m., Keith Rowley is on the golf course on the 7th hole playing golf. The man plays golf Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday from 7 a.m. to midday, and then 2 p.m. stays in the golf club with his partners. That is why the country is the way it is. There's a lack of leadership. I give the assurance to the country, we are ready to work, we're ready to transform Trinidad and Tobago. Give us that chance. Additionally, Keith Rowley is an individual. Every single time he speaks, the one thing, it's a PNM mantra. Yes, PNM, we are incompetent, we are inefficient, but they're thief. But I can tell you there are 2 political leaders here tonight. And none of these 2 political leaders will ever haul before the Integrity Commission and had questions to answer after being investigated. So Keith Rowley, every time you speak about that, look in the mirror. Against the concern of Trinidad and Tobago. Keith Rowley is trying to give the perception that this is just a local government election. Everywhere I walk, the main concern that you're hearing from everyone is the concern of their most fundamental right, the right of safety and security, the right to live, their concern of crime. He wants to bypass highest reduction in violent crime in 30 years. And function. We worked as a team, and because it's that we put in place that PNM. 2010 to 2015 went back down, UNC. 2015 to 2023, every year it goes back up, except for my last year when it was the highest reduction in violent crime. And then, what made it worse is that they decided, just like what they did with shutting down and dismantling every single thing that the People's Partnership had put in place to make people feel safe, they shut it down again as when I was Commissioner of Police. So when Keith Rowley says I was his biggest mistake, it is because I was not a political puppet as a Commissioner of Police. Trinidad and Tobago, yesterday it was me. Today it is Farley Augustine. Tomorrow it could be you. We have to understand what is happening in this country. Understand what is happening in this country. To control. He could not do that. During COVID, he wanted me to arrest persons in their home in breach of their constitutional rights. I said no. The man went and pumped $45 million into the police account and directed me to tell me to who to hire, and to target political opponents in the world, there will be a snap election. What that man has done is similar to dictatorship. $45 million. By the way, no procurement concern then. $45 million, handpick this UK person, I wouldn't call Kate McMahon's name, and then you then say that it is to target 3 political opponents. That is what is called democratic dictatorship, where a prime minister believes he can control and direct police in the performance of their duties. So what he's doing now, as it pertains to vetting, Keith Rowley, we had vetted units for years in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We had the Special Branch, we have the SIU, we had SWOT, we had the White Collar Crime Unit. They're already there. And do not lie and mislead the country to say the United States said they must establish a vetted unit. What they said is that they would like to work with a vetted unit. You already have the vetted unit. What he wants is to have his own unit. Because again, what Keith Rowley wants to have is to have control of the police service. And that must not happen. So, as we then go on, I heard Mr. Mann speak about polygraph testing recently. So, he wants to speak about polygraph testing. So, because I knew that there are people within the PNM who are also involved in polygraph testing, I went and did my own polygraph test by one of the most successful and well-known polygraphers in Miami, that they deal with all the Miami police. And in that polygraph test, questions were asked. Have I ever received any inducement? As the police commissioner, did I accept an inducement? Did I ever receive anything of value as making decisions? And the answer was, based upon careful analysis of the polygrams used to examine the subject, it is the opinion of this examiner that the subject, that's maybe myself, was truthful to the responses. There was no deception indicated to any of the relevant test questions asked. Now, so I have a polygraph test to prove that I do not lie. And that every single thing that Keith Rowley said as it pertains to firearms, he lied. However, what I would like now is I want to challenge Keith Rowley to do polygraph testing. He and Gary Griffith, mano a mano. And these are the questions I would like to ask because it is for me and for him. Did you ever use your position to benefit financially by illegal activities, inclusive of state assets, to move it from one location to another to financially benefit yourself? Did you ever harass, meet, or influence the police to investigate political opponents? Have you ever compromised your position as a member of parliament to influence independent bodies to make decisions to benefit you politically? Tell us everything you know about Emailgate. Do you know where the typewritten Emailgate really came from? Did you ever harass a commissioner of police to fast-track approval for explosive licenses for your friends in Tobago? Did you ever harass a commissioner of police to get FUL dealership license for your partner in Tobago to sell hundreds of guns for them? Do you communicate or influence police officers to target political opponents? And did you influence or intimidate the previous Police Service Commission chairman to withdraw a merit list illegally, as this was never approved by the Police Service Commission? I am asking Keith Rowley, let both of us, mano a mano, to do these polygraph tests, seeing that he wants to speak about polygraph tests. And may I add, it is the same vetted unit, that Keith Rowley is speaking about, which is the special branch that did a damning report on one of his ministers. And he said, in a hypocritical manner, well, that is intelligence, that doesn't matter. But then when you hire 3 jokers, 3 people who are civilians with no authority, no law enforcement authority, and they write lies about me, you say, well, okay, we could use that. That is why the court said, don't feel you could go to parliament, because parliament is the one place you could lie and not be sued, aka, and that shows that Keith Rowley is a hypocrite. You ignore a special branch report based on intelligence, but you want to use a report by people you handpick. This is what Keith Rowley, this is his style. Just like the Stanley John report, just like the audit report, handpick people that could be closely affiliated to whoever, pay them big money, let them write a report and then say this about the individual. The country is not buying those lies anymore. So his mistake is an individual that when I took over the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, it was 14% public trust and confidence. It then moved to 55% when I left. His mistake was an individual who ensured that every violent crime was reduced by 35%. His biggest mistake was an individual that caused crime to fall to number 4 in the concern of the country, behind health, education and the economy. His concern was the fact that criminals were on the back foot, and he ignored 89% of the population who wanted somebody to return or had no concern. But you know, the other 11% comprised criminals. So Keith Rowley, you were in select company because you didn't have what you didn't want. And over 80 police officers were suspended, removed, or even arrested under my watch because we were cleaning up the police service. And by cleaning up the police service, it caused the public to buy in and it built trust and confidence. Instead, what you have done, we have now gone back to the past now, where police officers, $120 million a year I was able to reduce in overtime corruption because we had police officers claiming that they were working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and $80,000 a month. I put an end to that. I put an end to the concern about firearm corruption because the hardest was for you to get the firearms, that is what will cause people to pay. Because I made it easier, he had a concern. And again, it seemed that the PNM, they did maths in August. They went to school in August. Because they claim we give, that Kamala Prasad Bissetsa and I want to give firearms to everyone. I gave out 4,000 odd firearms out of 50,000 applicants. 4,000. Half of that were to law enforcement officials because of our backward system that when you're a police officer, a soldier, a sailor, a customs officer, a prisons officer, you actually have to return your firearm to the station and then go home and you can't protect your family. 2,000 of those were given to law enforcement officials. And the other 2,000, not one was lost, not one was stolen, not one was used for a crime, not one was used for a murder. In fact, dozens of lives were saved. So it seems that Keith Rowley has a problem with law-abiding persons having the right to fight back, having the right to stand your ground, having the right to defend yourselves. It gets even worse. My wife, Nicole Dyer Griffith, she pushed for pepper spray. They don't even want to give pepper spray to give women a fighting chance. Until this government is removed, it is going to get worse. Because it seems that this government looks after the rights of the criminals rather than the rights of the law-abiding citizens. And again, as I state, yesterday it was me. Today it is Folly Augustine. Tomorrow it could be you. There are so many other things that would have been done. When we speak about our law enforcement officials, Kamala Prasad Bissetsa had them at heart. We had 150 foreign use UK people. 150. It was costing us over $22 million to maintain 150 foreign use UK officials. What she did is send them back to UK and took that money to give each and every law enforcement official $1,000 a month since 2010, and that has not stopped. So to Trinidad and Tobago, again, as I said, we are in desperate times. We need to do what is required. I ask you to understand the importance of this unification. We have to work together. As someone just mentioned, the reason he does not want to have these international observers is because he has a plan. We need to be very cognizant, monitor carefully, and to ensure that we win. And as I said, to the UNC and NTA candidates, work together, work as a team, ensure that those 147,000 persons who are Congress of the People members, they come back out and vote. We are going to win this. We are going to win this local government election. And before I close, as I said, yesterday was me, today is Folly Augustine, tomorrow it is you. We understand that this man is a dictator. He wants to control the police service. He wants to control independent bodies. I ask you that on the 14th of August, send a loud and clear message to Keith Rowley, enough. Thank you.
Yeah, baby, you know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA. Let me go. We got the NTA. NTA is the way. Gary Griffith got the plan. So let us save our nation. No. NT, NT, we voted NT. Voted, we voted NTA.
They did all these things to their own. They get over $500,000 to pay a bribe to Judas. The governor of the central bank is appointed by whom? He's a government appointee. The deputy governor is a government appointee, and you want to talk about no government? Nothing in politics? We will continue to work with CARICOM for the better of our country.
This is a special prime time local government election address with UNC political leader Kamla Prasad Bisesa.
Family and friends, UNC family and friends. And while Gary boasted he could open his shirt, blue shirt, and show yellow, well, Gary, I did better. I wear yellow and blue to speak with you here tonight. So, I thank all the previous speakers who joined us. And Gary spoke about so much that we did when Gary was our special advisor on crime, national security. And then he was with us as Minister of National Security. And whilst Gary was saying, Kamla Prasad Bisesa did this and did that, I did all of that with the help of Captain Gary Griffith. When it came to national security. And of course we had a good team working in the partnership. So I endorse every word that Captain Griffith has said here tonight about the benefits of coming together to unite as one great force to remove the PNM off the face of the map. We must remove them. And Gary has explained that every time we came together, we were able to move them off the map. I also acknowledge here Gavin Nicholas, who worked with us in that cabinet as well, and thank him for his service. Very happy to see he's joined the team with all of us. And of course my own UNC members are here. I think MP Saddam explained to you, they're trying to hold us back in Parliament, but they could never stop me from coming to meet with you and seeing you here tonight. Now there's a very interesting development. Gary's talked about today is Farley, tomorrow. First, yesterday was Gary, today is Farley, and tomorrow could be any one of you. And so, in the THA meeting today, the Chief Secretary Farley made some very, very, very serious allegations against Prime Minister Rowley, against the Commissioner of Police. Tonight I call upon them to tell us, are these allegations true? The Chief Secretary said, he alleged, a deeply disturbing conspiracy, a scheme between the Prime Minister, the Commissioner of Police, and other high-ranking officials. And there's a whistleblower who is coming forward and saying that he met with the Prime Minister. Prime Minister was talking to the Commissioner of Police, not this one. This was the greatest Commissioner of Police we ever had in Gary Griffith. Not this one, not this one. And they were engaged in a conspiracy. I have shared with you before how the PNM is attempting to buy votes, how the PNM is bribing people. I showed the check. Bribing people to jump ship and come into their camp. And we said goodbye. We want no Judases in this camp. We stand strong to remove the PNM together. And now, this whistleblower, Farley showed all the tapes in the THA today. The whistleblower is alleging that he has been paid and been promised $275,000 to swear an affidavit to implicate Farley and others in the THA. That is where the PNM has reached to conspiracies. So when Gary tells us tonight how they attempted to strong-arm and browbeat police officers to do their political bidding, they continue to do that with Farley. So yesterday was Gary, today's Farley, tomorrow is any one of you. Any one of you. Don't say you were not warned. They will use anything they can against whom they see as political opponents. And that's what they did. For months I've been warning and warning that the hierarchy of the police service, some of them, is in collusion with the PNM to persecute political opponents. I told you, and I will continue to say it, this government is a clear and present danger to democracy in Trinidad and Tobago. And so, a vote for this government is a vote for a body of people who believe, Gary explained it well, in dictatorship. This is a dictator government pressing down. They have their knee on your throat and they will come for any one of you. And so we must vote. We must vote on the 14th. We must vote for the NTA candidates. We must vote for the UNC candidates and move them off the map. We must vote against children grow up in a police state where they have no rights and no freedoms. We must vote against this dictatorship, handpicked police mongoose gang disguised as a veteran unit. Gary explained to us we have veteran units already in the service. He set up others to deal with crime, but this man has no idea. Those whom the gods wish to destroy, they force make them mad. Make them mad. There's a madman at the helm of this country. And if we don't understand that today, then it's scrap or smoke your pipe. We have to understand it well. When it is, a prime minister could stand up, baps, he wake up. He wake up, he say, listen, we're going to have police units vetted. Who is going to vet these people? And who will vet the vetted persons? And he's handpicking these people to do his bidding. As Farley is telling us, as Gary told us, he's handpicking, wants to handpick specially chosen persons to go in this team. You know, again, the work of a dictator. Right now, they're forcing the special branch to spy, some of them to spy on their opponents. The office of the special branch are so fed up. They're complaining, do not want to be involved in the dictator's schemes. The police service is now split into factions under this commissioner of police, where you have police officers going personally to the diplomatic center to meet this man one-on-one. Where do you ever hear that? Dari told you, only in dictatorships you have the prime minister interacting one-on-one with senior police officers, asking them to do his bidding. And look, that big meeting Sunday at the Dip Center was nothing but a gimmick, a stunt. Nothing but a stunt to get the police to help this dictator counteract all that people are speaking about. Was not to fight crime. According to senior officers who was present in the meeting, hear me up, you know, they can't tell you what happened in that meeting. But in Trinidad, nothing remains a secret for long. And so a senior officer at that meeting has said, it was a senseless meeting. everyone left really baffled because no one offered a strategy. No leadership, no ideas, no nothing. And there we were, all these heads of divisions. Did you see or hear anything different after the meeting? He asks. There were no increased police patrols by Sunday, Monday, and even up to today. He said, this officer, the police are doing what they can do with what they have. And that is the truth. We do not even have the basic tools we want. One of the things we brought up at the meeting was the issue of the CCTV cameras. Cameras have been in place since 2009, when an Israeli firm was hired to put the system in place for the 5th Summit of the Americas. Half of those cameras, he says, are not working now. It must bring out the resources, including the army, for high visibility, not just in hotspots, but on the highways and other getaway routes to tame the criminal upsurge. Gary, you remember that's what we did? We brought joint patrols of the army and the TTPS, and we took it to Parliament, remember, Gary? And what they said, they call it the soldier bill. It was to bring all our security forces together. There are thousands of army personnel, thousands of police personnel, and therefore we could deploy them in this fight against crime. That senior officer said, give guns to SRPs, bring them out also. Either that or we level the playing field and give guns to law-abiding citizens. Give guns to law-abiding citizens, which is what Gary did as Commissioner of Police, which he started to do. Gun for gun. I want you to imagine and think about this. You are in your home. Your home is your castle. And you are there with your family, your children, your wife. And you see a home invader coming into your home. What do you do? What do you say? Whom will you call? The Ghostbusters? You have no time because when you call them, they can't even reach. What do you do? And if you have a legal gun, what do you do? Rowley is telling us we are plotting one against the other, putting one against the other. What do you do? Your wife is about to be raped, your daughter to be raped. What do you do? And if you have a legal gun, then you know what to do. You stand your ground in your home. Stand your ground. What Rowley wants us to do? To say, Mr. Bandit, sir, hold on. Wait up. Just wait. Take off your mask and let me see if you're looking like me, or you're looking like Anil, or you're looking like Garvin, or you're looking like Gary. Who are you looking at? Who do you look at as? And then I'll decide if to use that gun. Absolute ludicrous nonsense. The home invasions happen regardless of you're red, whether you're white, whether you're blue, you're green, you're black. It's every one of us. Every single one. So they rape and they rob and they kill him. The man who will shoot to defend his family will get bail just like others get. So police stations, the officer says, are not equipped. If you think it happens only in some areas, recently it's happening everywhere. Even at the St. Clair station, they're telling us they're not well resourced. So these are the words of a senior officer, not Kamala, not Gary. This is what is happening in our country today as we are under siege by the criminals. I want to talk a little about the law they were trying to change in Parliament today. And I will not give you too much legalese, but I think it's important to understand what happened in the Parliament today. They're coming to totally, they brought a bill to remove all the checks and balances, to allow Imbert and Rowley to write blank checks so they can give contracts to their friends and their financiers and their family. That is what they were doing today, and you'll read more about it. I told them today, that bill is not worth the paper that is written on. Nothing is worth the paper. Because what they're doing in effect, they're killing the procurement. Well, they killed it already. They came today to carry out the final rites, to bury, put the last nail in the coffin, to bury any semblance of democratic transparency in the procurement of goods and services. As I move along, I want to share with you, the PNM is on platform crying all over the country about their fake local government reform. They have nothing to tell you that they have achieved in 8 years. After spending several $100 billion, nothing. Not an achievement. Crime, all-time high. Road infrastructure gone through. Health sector gone through. Education sector gone through. And as I talk about education, Rowley, leave the people concordat in place. Leave the denominational schools to conduct their business. It is only a fascist government. You're a dictator, but you're also a fascist government that you want to interfere in something that is working. You know the expression, if it ain't broken, why fix it? Why you want to interfere in the runnings of the Catholic schools, the Anglican schools, the Presbyterian schools, all the other schools, the Mahasabha, the Astra schools? Why? And so I see the court has granted leave to the Presbyterian School Board, Presbyterian Church, to challenge the interference by this government, unlawful interference with the Concordat and the running of those schools. Shame on them. It's a disgrace. Shame on them. As Gary told you, they want to control everything. They want to control the religion that you have, that you carry your school children to the Catholic school, Presbyterian, whichever school. That is your right. There's freedom of religion in this country, and these schools, the denominational schools, have served Trinidad and Tobago very, very well. Very well, very well. So I come back to local government reform. They have not one achievement. Agreed? Do they have any achievements after 8 years? Not one. And then they have no plans to put forward on the local government platform. Nothing. So what they do, they come and cry, Gary. They cry, what they say, some blue tongue or something. You know, when I was growing up, we used to have something called a blue bottle. I don't know if you're all too young to remember that, but it's a good blue bottle and blue soap and so on. Blue is a great, great, great color to ward away the evil eye. And yellow is also a great color for the sunlight that arises every day. So when we join the blue and the yellow, we have, as I say, a united force against Rowley and his dictatorship. So I'm returning to this local government gimmick, a PR stunt that they're crying about each day in their meetings on their platforms. It is fake local government reform. The majority of our population know that the PNM local government reform is fake. The majority of the population is laughing at anyone who actually believes the PNM fake reform joke. That's all they can come with. Just like the roadmap. You all remember something called the roadmap to recovery? Gimmick. Yeah, drop in a pothole. Or the road was too full of potholes. That road, thank you, Saddam, dropped down in the pothole. Do you remember crime as a public health crisis gimmick? What became of that? Do you remember their promise for island-wide broadband, another gimmick? Do you remember the Dragon Gas gimmick? Do you remember the Toko Port gimmick? Do you remember the La Brea Dry Dock gimmick? Do you remember the Plyboard Factory gimmick? Do you remember the Sandals gimmick? Do you remember the Petrotrin gimmick? The man lied and lied. He said, the government is not closing down Petrotrin. And if you were closing your fridge door and you didn't hear me, Pete, the government is not closing down Petrotrin. And lo and behold, all gone. Shut down the whole of Petrotrin. And that is why they're scrambling, what you call these guys, they sprang out like a spranger, scrambling to take money from you through property tax. Take money from inheritance tax. They're going to raise your electricity rates after the election. They're going to raise your water rates after the election. It is there in the Moody's report. They're boasting about that is what the plan is. So they're sprunging for money. They're looking for money. Because why? You closed down the one great revenue earner we had, which was Petrotrin. You killed the goose that laid the golden egg. But you created no other ways to create further revenue, to bring in money, to create jobs. Food prices gone, fuel, everything is gone. And now they're sprunging, if that's the correct word, Arnold, sprunging, looking for your money out of your pocket with all these taxes. I want you to piper, that's the word. Thank you. That's the word, like pipers. Looking for money everywhere, like pipers. Everywhere. And so where are all these things they promise? Petrotrin Refinery was supposed to go to whom? OWTU. On the verge of an election, they fooled everybody. They're giving it to the union. And as we're in a union hall here today, I asked the unions to stand firm, stand your ground against this wicked, evil government. Wicked, evil government. So what do I say? This is a gimmick government. How can the UNC support fake reform? How can the NTA support a dictator? The leader of this government is a dictator. Remember this dictator? He didn't call elections, you know, guys. You all remember? We had to take him kicking and screaming to the Privy Council before he had to concede and call the election. He was postponing this election until the end of this year so they could continue in their nefarious ways. So he didn't call the election. We went to court and forced him to call this election. And I want to tell you tonight, Mr. Rowley, you're boasting on the platform that the Integrity Commission has cleared you when this whole fiasco at Inez Gate and Tobago. Sir, that matter has not ended. It has not ended. We shall haul you before the courts. And he always complained about these old Englishmen in the Privy Council. We'll take it right up to the Privy Council to show that you were wrong in that matter. Gary reminded me tonight about the South people, 150 people. Rowley talks about us using the courts. Gavin, you're a lawyer. You know the Privy Council is our final court, but he's complaining. Every time we go up to the Privy, he says, going by them old Englishmen. When was his government who brought down those old retired Scotland Yard officers to pay them the millions that Gary reminded us about? So I'll just take a couple of minutes left to me to show you how poorly construed this fake local government reform is. It is clear they did not even plan their talking points properly. I cannot believe there is big men and women in this government came up with this fake local government reform. And let's understand it. What does it say? First of all, they're on their platforms promising security and funding when you pay increased property tax. Can I ask you a question? Where in the world does a party ask you, please vote for me, and you know what I'll give you? Property tax. I'll take your taxes. Where in the world? Vote for me, and you know what, fellas? Pay more property tax. Pay inheritance tax. You're taxing dead people too, who work so hard their whole lives. So we come to funding. They're talking about that they'll keep the taxes. Don't get fooled. Don't get chained up again with their lies. The Consolidated Fund will collect the property tax. It will not be kept by the Digobarton Borough Corporation or the Port of Spain or the Samala, any of the corporations. The monies will not be kept there. And then what happens? It will be taken to be used by the PNM to give the contracts to their friends and their families and finances. It will not be used in your area. Therefore, they will be the ones. Minister Imbert will be the one to decide how much money to give each corporation. So don't get chained up, pay property tax, and they will give you better service. That is never going to happen. They have not diversified in any way to get additional revenue. Only taxes is all they're looking for. So they will implement those things after the election. But they're so bold-faced and think we are stupid. They think Trini people dotish. Vote for me and I will make you pay property taxes. When the UNC was in office and the partnership was in office, there was a period of economic expansion, massive reduction in violent crime, with the help of Gary Griffith to bring it down to the lowest in 30 years. The lowest in 30 years. The PNM position was they would not continue all these plans that were put in place by the partnership and Gary Griffith. And when he was commissioner, he reignited some of those. And he got the crime down. Look, let's give Jack, all right, in this case, let's give Gary his jacket. Let us give him his jacket. Let us give him his jacket. We give Jack his jacket on another night. Next week we have a meeting with him and Gary. So that's one thing. You saw Gary stand up here tonight? You'll say yes. You saw him speaking here tonight? That man didn't read one piece of paper. Everything was in his head. Everything was embedded in his brain. And so together we will work to reduce the crime. We will use the local government to bring down the crime, to bring down other areas. And we have shared some plans with you already, which we'll continue to share as to how we can achieve that. The second gimmick or lie from Rowley and his team, they said, okay, corporations, you will get executive authority similar to the THA model. You hear lie? That too is lie. That is lie. That is totally false. The THA is embodied in our Constitution. But unlike the THA and Parliament, there is no constitutional protection for local government. It's an ordinary act of Parliament. That is why they could have come to Parliament with their majority to put the date of elections whenever they feel. You remember Mr. Manning? 3 times that man came to Parliament. That's PNM playbook. 3 times to do what? Postpone local government elections. But Rowley tried. But Rowley don't have bright lawyers like we have in the NTA and the UNC. We don't have them. Today I offer them, I say, Prime Minister, your lawyers, like they don't read the law, 1. And 2, when they read it, they still don't understand it. So you know what? I will lend you the little boy from Sawa. That's how Rowley called Saddam, the little boy from Sawa. I say we'll lend you a little boy from Sawa who is brighter than any of your lawyers sitting on that side. I am so busy trying to lend him Saddam. You know what Saddam say? Boss, I'm not going. I'm not going there at all. So, coming back to his giving executive authority, again, gimmicks, lies, and painting something that they will promise. But guess what? PNM promises never materialize. PNM promises never ever materialize. And moving along, they talk about security and funding. They're saying, vote for them, fake local government reform, we'll give you security and funding and so on. Will never happen. Executive authority, never happen. And they move along. They say they're going to give you Diego Martin Corporation, Port of Spain, Summer Laventy, and all the others, new responsibilities for school repairs, social services, and sporting programs. Look, right now, local government cannot repair potholes. They can't fix landslips. They can't clear box drains because of the discrimination in the expenditure that is given for recurrent items, such as just a basic phone bill, rent, fuel, paper. They starve the corporations. They cannot increase responsibility for school repairs, social services, sporting programs. What they have to do is increase the allocations to the corporations. So they wanted to take your taxes without procurement oversight. To talk about local contractors to get work. You hear lie? More lie, more lie. Under the Procurement Act, the contractors have to register with the Office of Procurement Regulation. So unless they amend that to say in the districts where the corporations, local government, people, corporations should get allocations, it will never be done. So they don't even understand that. They talk about more effective municipal police. You hear lie again? You hear lie? That too is a lie. Effectiveness for municipal police is through human resources. They have promised police, municipal police to the corporations over the past 8 years. How many did they actually give to the corporations? In one, they gave 20 in 8 years. Others have none. In other places, they ask for buildings for these officers. Nothing. They talk about development control, another lie. They have provided no particulars. They have no idea. Just a talking point, just like that roadmap to recovery. They say when you vote for them, their fake local government reform, you will have infrastructure works. How? When? After 8 years, they cannot even finish the Point Fortin Highway. The Tokomanzana Highway is a mud track now, and so many of the roads totally in disrepair. What about flooding? You remember, sorry fellas, in Port of Spain? Gone are the days when Port of Spain used to laugh at the south and central, like Heinz talking about we like something in a murky lagoon and blah, 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 blah. Race baiting, whistleblowing. Now all over Trinidad is flood. If it drizzles, it's flood. And you know what somebody tell me? Once the rain set up, the flooding starts. Cannot even deal with that. They talk about involvement of civil society. What civil society? No particulars. They are total, blatant liars when it comes to their local government reform. They talk about disaster management. They have destroyed the disaster management units in the corporations. No equipment for fire rescue. When do you see the ODPM? Look today, it is our UNC councils you see on the ground when there's a natural disaster. And come after the 14th, it will be the UNC councils, NTA councils out in natural disasters. And let us commend the hunters, search and rescue teams. They have been more helpful. These hunters, let's congratulate them. And then they talk about regional development. Since 2014, we passed laws. Remember Gavin and Gary? We passed laws involving local government to be involved in planning and development under a new system, Planning and Facilitation of Development Act. We proclaimed that law in 2015. 8 years later, they sat on it and we programmed parts of it. They have not moved for full proclamation. They don't have one development after $500 billion. Anil has a nice way to say it. 500, what is it, Anil? Billion dollars they have spent in these 8 years. So as I close, we will share with you, and I invite you tonight to join us on Monday, NTA, UNC, at the Center of Excellence, where we will present our Tunapuna candidates jointly at that meeting. I close. I love you too. I love all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's a local government gimmick that I'm speaking about. And I close by telling you, let us look at our country as a company. Many of you are businessmen. Let us look at that. You have put the dictator as a CEO of this company in 2015. After 8 years, let's do a check, a reality check on the CEO. After 8 years, the monetary value of the company is 20% smaller in size. The company revenues have declined. The staff has been cut. The company debt has skyrocketed. The company is having difficulty in accessing loans. The company has to cut employees' benefits. The shareholders of the company receive no earnings. the CEO and the company failed to deliver any promised projects. Would you keep this dictator and this CEO in office? Will you keep them in office? So substitute the company for Trinidad and Tobago and see the inability of government to give citizens more goods, services, high standard of living, because the dictator has failed as a CEO. He has failed at doing his job. And now you who actually do your jobs and you who invested in our country are being punished. A proper CEO and leader must grow the company, grow the economy, so to increase income for shareholders, our citizens, to get goods and services. Conversely, this government cannot do their own jobs. But what do? They turn around and blame everybody else. Everybody else. So, I want to share with you Rowley's propaganda, the ultimate playbook. And if you know and you're warned, you will not get carried away by their lies and disinformation. So here we are, playbook, Rowley's disinformation playbook. First, 1, blame the UNC. Blame Gary Griffith 2. 2, item 2 in this playbook. Blame Kamala. Blame Gary. Item 3, blame the people. Blame the people. 4, cry race. Cry race. But nobody getting chained up with that again, because we in the NTA and in the UNC, we have space for every creed and every race. I say, whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're blue, whether you're green, whether you're yellow or blue, there's space for everyone in the NTA and in the UNC. And item 6, repeat over and over and over and over again. So that's the playbook. The playbook, that's the PNM playbook. And once you play it, once you've seen it once, you've seen it every single time. Every time. I ask of you here tonight, all of you have come out in your numbers, put your hands together for this great, massive meeting this evening. I thank everyone. And I tell you this, you will never walk alone. The NTA and the UNC will walk with each and every one of you. We will join together to unite our country, to rebuild and restore Trinidad and Tobago. Let's work to make Trinidad and Tobago great again. Let's work together and let's make this happen. So on August 14th, all of you complaining every day wherever you are, things bad, you know what? Stop toting and start voting. Stop toting, start voting. August 14th, put your X next to the NTA symbol and next to the rising sun of the UNC. May God continue to bless you. And may I ask all candidates and Gary and Garvin, please join us, other MPs and Senate, please join us. So here, what's the cry, what's the slogan on the 14th? Stop toting and start voting. Don't tote, just vote. Thank you and God bless.
It's time for we to vote for the UNC. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. Come let me vote. Stand your ground now for you and your family. So let me vote. This is the time to secure TNT. Come out and vote. Make sure the children sit in the community. You know, it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, NTA, NTA. NTA, 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 NTA. We Griffin wanna serve. Give the country what they deserve. You know he no skylock, hit the PNM straight out of the car. We vote to make a better Atlantic. It's time for winning. To vote for the UNC.
This is the time to secure TNT. Come out and vote.
Make sure the children safe in the community.
So we have to vote.
This is the time to secure TNT. Hey.
You see the crime can't take it no more.
No more, no more.
And the home invasion of the people insecure.
Security, you know.
To secure TNT, Wednesday's the way to go. So on election day, what to do?
Just vote for you. For your family security.
Vote for you.
For your community security. For your community security.
Vote for you.
Just to save your economy.
Vote for you.
Vote to secure TNT. August 14th, vote for UNC. You know it's your family. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country. NPA.
Stand your ground now for you and your family. So let me vote. This is the time to secure TNT. Come out and vote.
Make sure the children safe in the community. NPA, NTA, 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 NTA. Let it go. August 14th, vote for UNC. Yeah, baby. You know it's all about NTA. Here we go. Somebody say NTA, 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 NTA. Let it go. August 14th, vote for UNC. We vote in NTA. Go blue. NTA, you see we go blue. Gary Griffith got the plan. Go blue. So let us save our nation. No. NT, NT. To make a better NT. Voting, voting. We voting NTA. Voting, voting. We voting NTA. Voting. It's time for we vote to vote for the UNC. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your family. August 14th, vote for UNC. That's the way to secure your country.
Stand your ground now for you and your family. So let me vote. This is the time to secure TNT. Come out and vote.
Make sure the children safe in the community.
So we have to vote.
This is the time to secure TNT. Hey.
You see the crime and violence, we can't take it no more.
No more, no more.
And the home invasion of the people insecure.
Security, you know.
To secure TNT, Wednesday's the way to go.
August 14th is Election Day in Trinidad.
We have to stand united. We have to stand together.
It's 14 corporations and key electoral districts on the ballot. It comes down to your voice, your vote.
Toot! Are you ready? UNC?
Cast your vote for the one and only United National Congress. Stand your ground to victory. To victory.
Who feel the black? Who feel the white? I don't know. But it's settled tomorrow night. Who feel the wrong? Who feel the right? Come and go. And all who feel the too bright. Let me jump up. Let me wind up. Party non-stop. Ramaje dingo leke kete, we come to play mass.
We are The Street, the only radio station bringing balance to the nation. 91.9 FM.
You are locked on to the street. Locked on to the street.
You already know what it is.
919 FM.
Yeah.
right. People started dancing. They called me over to join in. They said, take, don't you feel good, man? Come on and join the reggae jam. I heard them singing, ooh la la la, hey, 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 let's go dancing, ooh la la la, come on, let's know it's true. Stay with me, fulfill my dreams, and I'll be all you need. Feels right, girl. Knew that love would bring this happiness I'm feeling. I tried to keep my sanity. I waited patiently. And girl, you know it seems my life is so complete. I love is true because of you. You're doing what you do. The perfect search for my life.
Baby, the way you take me today, girl, hold chaka. Follow me. A pretty face and bad character. Them the kind of living can hold chaka. Say, girl, you pretty, your face it pretty, but your character dirty. Girl, you just a act too flirty, flirty. You run to Tom Dick and also hurry. And when you find your mistake, you talk about you sorry, sorry, sorry. Come on. Have a cozy kind of way she talks and she jam. She know about the loop like I never really had. Make up with the coolie Chinese one and the business kind of girl that is a fight for the past. What you gonna continue? Waka waka baby, uru uru baby, corner corner baby. And I go tell my mama, and I go tell my papa, and I go tell them say, you be waka waka baby, you be chuku chuku baby, baby sawale, sawa sawa sawale, sawa sawa sawale.
Cause a yiggy yaga fella can't face me, no. Move yourself with your X and O's. Oh no 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 no, oh no 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 no. I don't wanna play a tic-tac-toe. Oh no 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 no, oh no no no. Boy, you the best, you the best, you the best, can't control me. Yeah, you know, yeah, you know, yeah, you know. I sweet and loco, 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 loco. Play with my mind and I go loco, 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 loco. Take time, just take it easy, easy. You know, I sweet and loco, 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 loco. Yeah, 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 yeah. Chocolate that you love, sweet and nutty. You kinda keep me locked up, free my patty. You the bad gal, pull up on me, get mad, love. Just don't tell me what to do. I'm sweet, I'm crazy for you. You the best, you the best, you the best, can't control me. Yeah, you know, yeah, you know, yeah, you know, I sweet and
Sabi girl, no they too like animals, they in human form. Body man, nobody like fuck, but you must hustle if you want to. You no finish, they won't fight us. If them they run, them no fit catch up. I know they form say I too righteous. No con they form say you too like us. Me no get the time for the hate and the bad energy. Got my mind on my money. Make you dance like broccoli. Steady green like broccoli. Steady on my grind, oh yeah, what they want telling me. Could deny my fantasy. They want to check if my tap be no wrong. But it rush, but I well, it be much. Now gotta make my tap be the rush. The kind money we touch, yeah. It rush, well, it be much. No be hype, everybody the crush. There's no dawning with us. Just for me, Jack, I dey go Ghana. You never thought you dey from papas. Which kind money we never see before? Cause hello me, got me feeling I'm the one. I never take my cake away. You can't count my grace. I just stay my lane. Me no get the time for the hate and the bad energy. Got my mind on my money. Make you dance like broccoli. Steady green like broccoli. Steady on my grind, oh yeah, what they want telling me. Could deny my fantasy. They want to check if my tap be no wrong. But it rush, but well, it be much. Now gotta make my tap be the rush. The kind money we touch, yeah. It rush, well, it be much. No be hype, everybody they crush. There's no dawning with us. It rush, well, it be much. Now gotta make my tap be the rush. The kind money we touch. It rush, well, it be much. No be hype, everybody they crush. There's no dawning with us. No darling.
yeah. Cause girls is players too. Yeah. Cause girls is players too. Keep it playing, baby. Cause girls is players too. Ladies getting money all around the world. Cause girls is players too. What you know about living on the top? Penthouse suites, looking down on the ops. Took her for a test drive, left them on the lot. Time is money, so I spend it on a watch. Hold on, little bitty showing through the white tee. You can see the thong busting on my tight jeans. Okay, rocks on my fingers like he wanna wife me. Got another shorty, she ain't nothing like me. Yeah, about to catch another fight. Yeah, apple bottom make him wanna bite. Yeah, I just wanna have a good night. I just wanna have a good night. Hold up, if you don't know, now you know. If you broke, then you gotta let him go. You could have anybody, any money, mo. Cause when you a boss, you could do what you want. Yeah, cause girls is players too.
It's calypso.
Yeah, cause girls is players too.
Calypso, clean up the world.
Cause girls is players
Man,
too.
don't show my shirt, Montana.
Money all around the world.
Here we go.
Players too.
Boy, don't touch me like you're going crazy. Let go me hand. Let me jump up in the band. I don't want nobody to come and stop me. Leave me, let me free up. Myself, let me jump up. So leave me alone. I am going home.
We are The Street, the only radio station bringing balance to the nation. 91.9 FM.
Find myself down in Port of Spain. I'm not the same, so got to blame every creed and race. Everybody down in the heart of Port of Spain. Mass, come again. Look how the people for their soul. Mass, come again. Aspirants to bring the power down. Hey, I'll carry you where you want to go. Baby, come girl, I'll do anything that you want. Darling, anything that you want. Now listen, put my control in me. Anything that you need. You're feeling like home sweet home, baby. All in my sleep, I'm talking. Winding my waist, sleepwalking. What's my name? This must be a dream, dream, dream. Pinch me, I can't believe that wine so sweet, baby. Oh no, this wine and this sweet one, you're making me weak, weak, weak. When you put that thing on me, this wine so sweet, baby. Oh no, they gon' say that I'm blind. Like I lose my mind, they gon' say that I'm blind. After just one wine, they gon' say that I show. If you got just one night, they gon' say that I'm blind.
Turn the beat down a little bit. Alright, right there.
What's the scene, yeah? Girl, you mean, yeah? The way you move, yeah. The way you whine and you grind and you bubble and go down. The way you whine, yeah. Girl, you fine, yeah. You move in time, yeah. The way you whine and you grind and you bubble and go down there. Down little bit, whine 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 and go down there. I like the way you move, yeah. Round and round is the way you move your hips, yeah. You whine with attitude, yeah. Up and down, baby, whine and work your hips, yeah. Down little bit, whine and go down there. Down little bit, whine and go down there. Whine if you catch the feeling, baby, you know what the deal is. I know a way to call me in the morning for a bite. I know you want to free it. All of these things revealing. Don't let me waste the time. Come along for the ride. And before you know, yeah, it's up in the air. You back it up right there. Show me your love and bring that waist to mine. No, you're pretty like shine up in my face when you laugh at me. Your body tight, show it off for me. Fall in a bed slime and give thanks for life. Yeah, and we go down like licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky. We have a style like licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky. The way she go like licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky. Come to be jam like licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky. That's the vibe, yeah. That's the vibe, come get it, yeah. Hit me with the one drop in that head. Anywhere the girl, them a dead there, yeah. When you're area, oh I. So baby, come now we live it. Tell me when you wanna feel it. Let's get hotter, send it. You know we like that, yeah. Cause we vibe on top. Yeah, we play every day. And we don't stop. Cause we got love to share, yeah, yeah. Oh, nah, nah. Girl, you are the one, tell me ready. Come here for the rum and the rendezvous. Keep it for me nice and steady. And we got jam like licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky. We have a style like licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky. The way she go like licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky. Come let me jam like licky ticky, licky ticky, licky ticky. That's the vibe, yeah. Jelly back.
Through the stars and many moons to find you.
on to the street. Locked on to the street.
You already know what it is.
919 FM.
My Uncle Sonny never ceased to amaze me. Since he picked up this Indian bait, he lived in Caroni. What she give him to eat, I really don't know. Every 10 words he speak, but he like 9 is more low.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the street. 919 FM.
The girl them bubble, feel up to see the girl them a bubble. Put up your hand, you play a song, the girl star bus blank. Now the girl them tight, play a song, the girl white. Watch, big selector up here in the rookie. Catch the baseline, watch the girl them a kill me. When the girl them a dip it and a drop it, you a funny man. If you not happy, follow me then. Canada show, so me glad me come out. Ready for left, what you talking about? Road me lip, me no want see no host. We a rave and a wait, and the sun to come out. Girl a bubble, bubble, girl a bubble, bubble, girl a bubble, bubble, girl a bubble, bubble, them a bubble, bubble, girl a bubble. Bubble gala bubble, bubble gala bubble. Alright then, y'all live on head top a spin like it. Me have to ask if some of them right it. Watch the one day with the wire waist. Watch your body there, yo dog. Look how that beat. Cock up, y'all. Show your talent and skill. Red label wine, you a turn on the chill. Like a bus in on me head like grenade. But all when me talking delayed, me not left. Y'all a dash out, so me glad me come out. Ready for left, what you talking about? Road me live, me no want see no host. Me a rave and a wait, and it's something to come out. Bubble gala bubble, bubble gala bubble, bubble dem a bubble, bubble gala bubble, bubble gala bubble, bubble gala bubble.
You want your proper fix? Call me. You want to get your kicks? Call me. You want your G6? Call me. Play up the remix? Call me. From the other days, like I play some boy I play. Hear the girls calling, hear the girls falling, hear the girls crying out. She said
I want a dude with the wickedest slang. I need a 1, 2, 3, how a man. I want a dude who would time it to the fan. Third back in time, so it feels like I'm bad. I want a dude with the wickedest slang. I need a 1, 2, 3, how a man. I want a dude who would do me in his van. Third back in time, so it feels like I'm bad.
if you love it, allow me one time. Allow me if you want the wickedest mind. I know it's been a while, but baby, never mind. Cause tonight, me I give you the whole line, yo. Satisfaction and every girl dream. Me love to put it on, make them girl and scream. Well, me get a call from sexy Maxine. She live this is from me inside machine. She said,
I want a dude with the wickedest slang. I need a 1, 2, 3, how a man.
She miserable, says she's stressed. So me give her some sex. I just love it, them a repress. Them you say we have the best. That's my girl, I sneak out my home and I blow up my phone. Cause she want the vitamin S. Girl want smoke a cigar and I run down my car. Cause she want the vitamin S. Girl a unbutton her skirt and a pop off my shirt. Cause she want the vitamin S. Girl not hurt no less. Cause it good to stress them. Want them vitamin S. Girl in a heat. Girl warm and a name gonna sweet. Frustrated so she a kiss her teeth. Don't worry yourself, delete. If him not there go, just call me and I will tweet. Me alone love to make you feel so sweet. Play now you hear and massage your feet. 1 to 3 times a week, and that will make you feel complete. Believe me, everybody knows say it good for headache. It's nice when you get a 1 dose when you wake. Some man no good, so them gyal a feel fake. Come on, dude, give me a break. That's my gyal a sneak out my home and I blow up my phone. Cause she want the vitamin S. Gyal want smoke a cigar and I run down my car. Cause she want the vitamin S. Gyal a unbutton her skirt and I pop off my shirt. Cause she want the vitamin S. Gyal not take no less. Cause I eat good distress. Them want them vitamin S. What do you like?
I wonder where some gyal a study round here. See them argue over man with them a share. See them a worry about when next gyal a wear. And us say them need to do them here. Do you hear? The kind of let me see them living round here. Sometimes it's sorry for this where them a be. But all gyal from your conscience clear. See that one you love make me hear. Man a the least of my problem. So me left idiot fi have them. Me too cute fi mix up and blend. So tell a gyal she fit with her argument. Me stress free cause me know in a excitement. Them give her free but no one know they beside them. Some gyal a hype on me say man a hide them. Nah no pride gyal them no
clothes and left.
Me afraid to see the boy I watch every move of me, man.
Make a run when him yard dead shut.
Black her, the first man, me see hard for left.
Yo, the man so much girl and still a threat.
He no care, you know, see the boy walk up, broke off me neck.
Sister, them boy that you no pet. Maka. Bunny, take man pan him, take the house and land and road it. Bunny, take man pan him, take the car and van and road it. Bunny, take man pan him, take the house and land and road it. Bunny, take man pan him, take the car and van and road it.
Pick my woman dear, woman everywhere. Half girl a call me pa my phone and me yard and I do like him don't care. Him a woman here, woman dear, woman everywhere. Half girl a call me pa my phone and me yard, but no disrespect right here. How me to get over here?
Take a next man.
Never stop fret over here.
Take a next man.
Stress over here.
Take a next man. Take a next man.
Boy, take me head and should be on his shoulder. Somewhere under bed, the phone fling under. Turn on the TV and start the drama. When me a dance, tuck it down, him say me wine nada. Me daddy beat me a bang fi mama. Him a play string guitar, me a bang piano. Sound string up nice and make a what this me under. Sweater run out a race in a the love saga. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, die. The lover sweet me boy. The lover sweet me boy. Boy, the lover sweet me. Die, 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 die. Die, die.
Switch position.
Change the formation of the match. No one, no half time, don't stop. Me know you like 6:30, but no at 10 o'clock. So recline the chair and go easy back. It's sweet, me talking a gypsy. Pulu, pulu, boy, la boy, and easy. It look up me rhythm, balance me and mix me. Lord, about 50 times, I count when him text me. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, die. The lover sweet me, boy. The lover sweet me, boy. Boy, the lover sweet me. Die, 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 die.
Si el ritmo te lleva a mover la cabeza, ya empezamos como es. Mi música no discrimina a nadie, así que vamos a romper. Toda mi gente se mueve. Mira el ritmo como los tiene. Hago música que entretiene. El mundo nos quiere, me quiere a mí. Toda mi gente se mueve. Mira el ritmo como los tiene. Hago música que entretiene. Mi música los tiene fuerte bailando y se baila así. La fiesta no para, apenas comienza. C'est comme si, c'est comme ça, ma chérie. La 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 la. Francia, Colombia, me gusta. Freeze. Y Balvin, Willy William, me gusta. Freeze. Los DJ no mienten, le gusta a mi gente y eso se fue muy bien. No le bajamos, mas nunca paramos, es otro palo y blanco.
¿Y dónde está mi gente?
Me fue a bouger la tête.
¿Y dónde está mi gente?
Yo.
Sí, yeah, yeah, yeah.
1, 2, 3, luego. Esquina, esquina, y ahí nos vamos. El mundo es grande, pero lo tengo en mis manos. Estoy muy duro, sí, ok, ahí vamos. Y con el tiempo nos seguimos elevando. Y seguimos rompiendo aquí. Esta fiesta no tiene fin. Botellas para arriba, sí. Los tengo bailando, rompiendo y yo sigo aquí. Seguimos rompiendo.